So up until the injury in Miami, everything had been going on a pretty clear upward track with your game. Just wondered how you evaluated your season and then how that went in line with what Magic and Pelinka just spoke to you about.
I thought my season was a process. Coming in, trying to adjust to the way we played our style of basketball, and I think on the offensive end and the defensive end, just trying to show my skill level. I just found myself just being patient, in every single game where I thought I could affect the team. So I just kept getting better and better. Each and every game, I felt myself getting better. But I think just saw myself grow over the season. I wish I would have played a bit more games, but stuff happened.
What they say. Summarize.
Nosy.
That's what we're here for.
No, basically it was just how this could be a big off season for me, especially with the transformation of my body. How I could see myself the next year and how we play, and of course trying to make the playoffs.
Brandon, the team started to take off mid-season when you took over that role when Lonzo was hurt and you played point guard. How was that experience for you? How much easier was it this year to play that role? You played it some as a rookie, and how did that impact your game going forward? Is that something you could see yourself doing more of?
Well, I've actually ran it in the beginning of the season a little bit, but in the second time Coach told me to run it, I just try to make a different approach in how I did things. Trying to attack the basket first for my own shot to impact the defense and kick it out for threes. I think I saw it impact a lot of guys' games like Josh Hart. Larry Nance took his game to another level. Julius started to open up his game a little bit, and I just wanted to go out there and play the right way. I try to take ownership in what I've done on the floor.
Does that experience at point guard change how you approach the offseason in terms of more ball handling drills, pick and roll drills, things like that?
I think that's something that I wanted to do already. And my ball handling skills, shooting the basketball, whatever that I needed to do from this season to make it better, make my game better and a whole lot easier on the offensive end. I think that's what I wanted to work on.
When you guys ever, excuse me, the other younger players on the team, you guys ever talk about what you guys feel you guys could be in like 2 years, 3 years, being a stretch into the NBA playoffs? Is that something you guys talk about in person?
Well, I think maybe me and Kuz have talked about it before. I think he talks about it the most. And we know what we have in the room every time that we step on the basketball floor. It's amazing to see some of the young talent that we brought in, but also they have really good work ethics and what kind of player they want to be night in and night out. So they come in and they put in the work, and it's really good to see. But I think me and Kuz talk about it a little bit.
Brandon, there's obviously so much talk about who might join this team this summer. Where do you think you fit in with guys that have been talked about? And then also, do you think this team, the young guys on this team, are ready to kind of take that next step if players of that caliber come to like be a contender?
Well, I think I fit in fine. I think it's all about how we really want to play as a basketball team. I think in this season, we've shown that we wanted to be the run and gun, the team that pushes the pace, try to put pressure on the rim every single play, and occasionally kick out the shooters. So I think, of course, in some areas we need some better shooting and whatever we can do in the paint. But like I said, we'll let them figure it out. We just come in and do our job.
But if you guys supposed to get two macro guys playing this summer, you think you, Lonzo, you guys
We'll be able to play. It's all in how we figure it out. Of course, we want to make the playoffs next year. Of course, we want to get through the playoffs, but it's all in our learning and it's all in how we attack this offseason. I think if we have the chemistry to do that, then it's possible. But it's all in how we attack each day, every single day that we come in here.
Brandon, sort of along the lines of those top-end players people are talking about, where do you kind of picture your game relative to those guys? Maybe not this very second, but in a year or two or three, like comparatively. Do you put yourself in as somebody who can play in that category?
Absolutely. I think I have the confidence to do that, and I live in the moment for the player I am now. But I always look down the line and see how much better that I can be if I go into each off season with the mindset. If I go into each day trying to work on something different or have the same routine every single day, I realize that I could be at those guys' levels.
What does the top end of your game look like? If you are playing that way.
Well, a two-way player, a guy that can do everything on the basketball floor, whether it's on the defensive end, getting deflections, getting steals, blocking shots, rebounding the basketball, on the offensive end, shooting beyond the three, having an in-between game, getting to the basket, a guy that lives on the free throw line. Just different ways to manipulate the game.
Brandon, as somebody who went into last offseason like working a little bit on your shot, kind of altering a little bit and working on getting your body stronger and bigger, what kind of advice would you have for Lonzo if Lonzo ends up having to kind of follow the same path to this offseason toward next season?
Well, just working on his body. I think in both of our season this year, we missed a whole bunch of games this year, and I think the main focus is to be on the court next year, so you can really go out there and show your talent and how you can affect the team. But I just say work on his body, shooting the basketball, being comfortable shooting the basketball. I think we have to play a little bit more so he'll get used to the speed of the game so he can shoot the basketball. But just working on his body.
Hey, Brandon, when you were playing point, you were able to pretty much keep the pace, getting pushed like it was when Lonzo was running it. What has Lonzo's impact been on this team's identity as a whole?
Well, he's the head of our offense. I think he gets everybody in line to be open and know he's going to penetrate the defense every single time. He pushes our pace, and he plays the right way. He sees the game a little bit different every time he steps on the floor, and that really affects our team.
As the person who's asked you twice about free agency, I'm wondering, was that ever distracting this season to hear so much about the guys who were going to come this summer? And did you ever feel disrespected that there was that people thought about you guys maybe as a landing spot instead of being your own talents that you guys were displaying each night?
Well, I don't think it was ever distracting. I rarely heard it in the locker room of the guys talking about it, so I think we just continue to play the way we played. Just knowing that we had young talent and we were going to run every single night and be the best that we could be. I think I don't think you can feel disrespected because it's another set of eyes in that room up here that's going to have a different opinion, or they may have the same opinion of us young guys. And, we just got to come out here and play basketball.
Hey, Brandon, what you said about being one of those elite, all NBA type two-way players, that your coaches have said that they think you can get there too. They've been pretty consistent with that confidence. Last year, when you started to go against some of those guys, that was when you started to turn it around too, and just knowing that you fit. But I wonder where you think that the biggest areas to actually be able to do it. What you did this season. What do you think that gap is, and how do you close that gap?
How I can be consistent, I think. Being the same guy night in and night out, knowing what what move I'm going to go to on the defensive end. How can I cause havoc? Just having the effort and the energy every single night.
Brandon, serious question here. Who do you think is better at social media after a season, Kuz or Lonzo?
Better social media? I don't know. That's a good question. I always see Lonzo dancing on social media, and I always see Kuz post a picture like 5 minutes after games. I just go with Cal.
Hey, Brandon. Throughout the season, you've had the opportunity to be sort of like the closer in a close game in the fourth quarter. Kuzma's had that opportunity too, and then you guys brought in Isaiah, and he's kind of, a guy that's done that a lot through his career. Is the multiple guys having that role, is that something that you think the team can kind of continue to build, or do you think that you guys maybe need to kind of figure out that one guy is a closer and that's how you're going to approach the end of games?
Well, I think whoever's hot, maybe whoever is confident in that setting at that point, but at that point in time, I'd rather have a chance to shoot that shot, or whether I miss or make it, just one, and I'm going to shoot that shot.